I watched Missy's retrograde communication audio interference locations of mastering communication line conditions of methods. It's pretty powerful stuff. Uh, I couldn't stop laughing because it's saying, well, I think today I'm going to give General a break, right? So basically, the way she was doing it was like a comedy act, but it was pretty powerful stuff. How we kind of like try to understand what General is doing. It's all position location for you to understand these things. So in calculations, all levels of view through travel. I really want you guys to really focus on that because your test is coming up on Thursday, and you guys are going to come into all your title defense position locations. But in that position, try to use your perception and everything you see through travel. So everything you come across, I really want you to really get into that. Don't see it as homework. See it as an observation, right? Because you have the next 2 days line center and rotation interference. Because what's going to happen is they're going to put you guys on a planetary line and rotation position line connections in channel operation line system. Today, you're going to go through all levels of your ground perception. You're actually going to see your Earth, what it is, the calculation. So it's very powerful to have you come inside the graph line center. Position location, I'm going to throw you in space. You're going to channel offline and rotation interference. Basically, you have to identify yourself. I'm going to put you in a planetary system. All right. This is all about understanding your upgrade locations, what you do through your memories, how much you can remember, where you are at position, location, or direction. Try to get back into the bubble of its interface. Communication line center, defense line, position, location, mechanism, travel connections. So really understand, use everything as an observation. When you're going outside, make sure you try to see all levels of travel. You see a lamp as travel. You see a doorknob as travel. You see carpet as travel. You see your phone as travel. Your headphones as travel. Your computers as travel. Your keyboards as travel. Your letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols as travel. Everything's travel, 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 travel. Okay, and that's how you come into your equation locations. So if I'm going to travel through this, it's just a wrapper, but it's a granola bar. So granola bar interference line, channel rotation interference, location line conditions. Now, eating and signal line and rotation. 6, what happened to 7? What happened to 8? What happened to 9? 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 7, 8, 9. So 7 did eat 9 in position location of its granola bar system. Calculates modification, travel position line center, fluctuation line conditional levels. Now you guys are traveling through a granola bar. You're traveling through a granola bar, right? That's how powerful it is, just through a wrapper. Everything is travel, okay? So you have to learn how to use your fluctuation line conditions and anything to channel line center location or second communication system or moon interference location program setting position location line condition. So I'm just showing you. So it's all about understanding how to levitate your position locations, all channel line center. How to use this as travel, as it is a granola bar, right? But it's amazing how you look at things as everything of intelligence, right? So to understand everything, it starts with the center. Okay, and you ask yourself, where's the flux capacitor? Right? Is it here or is it here? Well, it's here. It's not here. It's here. Because as soon as you pick it up, it's already operated. It's waiting for you. Do you understand what you're doing through granola bar? Which is the wrapper. It's already eaten position locations. 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? 6, 8 already 7, and 7 already 8, 9 in calculation modification line condition. So that puts you in all levels of travel. So your senses, all level position locations, taste, smell. Okay, you taste the granola bar, you smell the granola bar, you become the granola bar, you're traveling through the granola bar. It's a top rotation unit. Ooh-ah, all through your senses, right? Pretty amazing, multi-pass. So I'm just showing you how powerful it is where you can just travel through anything. And I really want you guys to go outside and get into your adventures of your eyes and everything that you see, try to use it as structure. All right. It's very, very powerful. When I went into that signal in position, location, line directions, you have to understand your sonars. You have to understand your ringing ears. What is it? Position locations. Why is it ringing in high line center? How many times is it palpitating? How many times is it ringing? How many times there's signals that are coming in through sonar, channel line, and rotation in position, line, condition, position. So in modification centers, all level system locations, you can travel through candy, right? You can travel through gumdrops. Even back in the 80 line center rotation, you can travel through lightsabers. All right. So you know what a lightsaber is, right? We can travel through lightsabers. And I could put you guys back into correlation line centers back into the 80s through timeline. And at the same time, you guys are eating lightsabers. right? So it's amazing how you do through anything through travel. And that's how you're going to see yourself as the avatar. When the avatar is looking around, all it's seeing is travel. It's trying to understand how to travel to this, trying to understand to travel to this, trying to travel to that. Now understand the three line, center line, rotation, interference, in position, location, and slide graph interference, location, line conditions. Now you got your position, location, flux capacitor. Travel through the wall, line, center, interference. That's your equation, right? So that's a process that I really, really want you guys to get into. Get into the observations what you're seeing through timelines. It's important you understand that through position, right? So today you guys are going to travel through your ground perceptions of the Earth. Test day on Thursday. How's everybody doing? Give you guys 5-10 minutes. Make sure you have your water. Questions in the comments afterwards. All right, so let's see here. Zoom Monday and Wednesdays are doing fantastic. Wednesday's coming up, so I'm glad you guys are participating and really getting to know you. You don't have to answer questions. You can just sit back and just listen and say, whoa, this is powerful stuff. I can't wait for Wednesday. Right. And then something will click in and say, well, I need to communicate on this level. I need to talk on this side. I need to talk on that side. But what side am I talking on? So it's all about you're trying to get in your position locations to all levels of youth or direction. So you're always communicating yourself inside. Sometimes you have to question. Now that's a marking system location of point system. So it's like if my off triangle is not calculated and modified to high line interference location, triangle interference location, line conditions of vortex chambers, what's the modification signal at in position location to its direction? Or what's the signal rotation to a heat signature pattern to high line rotation to calculations of 144,000 line position of a clocking center? What's a travel record of time position location to a ground interference? What's a program setting position location to a receptor? What's a division tactic to high position location of crop circles? What are the crop circle line centers all levels to its crystal activation system? Why is it on calculation modification form line centers, but my communication cycle does understand this division location of its tactics view? So it's all about understanding you guys have to get more and more inside your position locations, right? You have to really get into high system location, your shadow works. Get more line centers to your inner work, your inner child. Soul direction line centers, everything position location, your avatar. Understand what you're doing through travel, put you in all position locations. So when you come in my live in school, you're already traveling, right? You're already traveling. The mind is open through concept. Oh, here we go, General. Where are we going to go this time? Now I know where I'm going. So if you know where you're going, you know where you're going to be set. You know where you're going to be in location. Because the intent, the will, the force, the creation, location. Done, right? You don't have to worry about it, right? Especially when it comes into rebellion and the position locations, GFLs and everything, all calculations of the all levels of the ascended masters. They already are traveling, right? They're very high rise. So it's all levels of the mind that you have to reach. You got 12 line centers, position of the ground, and position locations, all levels of the atmosphere locations. I'm talking about there's 7 in the body line center, which is you in the ground line center with 1% position location, which is 9 line center interference. In position location is a 5 atmosphere line position, but that is still the grounds. There's grounds as space, guys. And then you go to higher levels, and now you're going into space. So you're getting into your runways, creating that position location, your geometry line, interference location, operation line position. Then in calculations, you go to higher levels of the mind. And once you reach the capacity of the mind line position location, it's astronomical what you can see through precision. All right. Max, how's it going? Pam, how's it going? Haley, how's it going? It reminds me of Missy. Introducing. Oh, that cracks me up. Don, how's it going? Abby, how's it going? Terry, how's it going? Yeah, Missy, how's it going? Larry, how's it going? Sambo, how's it going? Johnny, how's it going? Michael, Airbender. Jill, how's it going? Pam, how's it going? True Light, how's it going? It's great to see the units. Pyra, how's it going? Remy, Carissa, Terry, Don, Little Jess, Ellen, Gypsy. It's great to see that. Rainer. All right. So when you guys travel through the earth lines, it's going to blow you away. Christy, how's it going? Color stream. All right, Michael. He's got the ground centers. So I know exactly all your point positions where you are through direction. It's mostly important to understand these things. Like what is Johnny's job? Well, what's his title defense? MP3, space, time, music, lyrics. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? What is ambi? her position location, amber, all timelines of the heart. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So now you understand who is who. So in that position location, that gives you a little bit more formations, who to connect with when you want to, right? You resonate more than others. Sometimes it's with the general, sometimes it's with Jill. It's all calculated and modified here, guys, but it's all positioned for you to understand who you are, right? Who are you programmed through? Well, you're obviously programmed through yourself. So it's all about answering all the questions for yourself. That helps out more humanity because they're seeing you on all levels of perception of travel. And that's why it's so important is that every time you get up in the morning, see yourself traveling through everything, through structure, through a drawing. Okay? That's what I want everybody to do. Test day on Thursday. All right. Chris, how's it going? Chris, okay. I'm in there. Ellen. I'm just going through lines, signals, location, possessions here. All right. Okay, there's a lot of people in, a lot of energy, fluctuation, line, position, locations. Danielle. Stephen. Great to see. Everybody make sure you have your grounds. Grounds of the mind line system. Okay. Pre-flight checks. Make sure before you travel, right? Especially for the activators, for the first timeline, sequence, location, and position location is all about direction. So it's true to understand what you're doing through number sequence. So you can travel through letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols, but you understand what you're doing. That's true understanding. Everything is an equation location to its calculation, right? So let's say you get into formation to all levels. Okay, so let's look at this aspect, what it looks like to its position. All right. What does that look like through position? What does it look like through position? Right? There's no thought process in anything that I do to equation, guys. All right. So it's true you understand how to travel through it. So you know it needs its grounds. It doesn't matter if it's on an angle line interference in position locations. It's got two panel channels, right? You see it? So know exactly what you're doing through travel position, through calculation. See? Look at that. Look at that. Look how powerful that is. So creating is everything to visualize center. So it's already traveled through the ground interference. Okay? See? Pretty incredible stuff. So you don't have to do calculation modifications or anything to the singularly line interference. You don't have to set up the grounds, the powers, or anything, the flux capacitor, because you're already traveling. All right? So to understand how to modify anything position locations. Now in ground line center, let's go in this position. Okay, we got the white right graph board line center rotation interference. Kilter off position location. Channel off line center. Okay, signal in position. Okay, and rotation line center to an oracle line rotation calculation. So I get the code SID line center. Code equals high position locations, squads. Okay, squad units. Okay, the unit line center rotation, everything. So it's a modification signal, rotation center line and rotation. So in calculation, we modify all levels, travel position locations, right, into the GFL. Okay, you have to be specific, equals rebellion / ascended masters. Okay. There's a calculation to all levels. Formula, travel, formula. Doesn't matter. What matters is the balance of everything. Because this is the same as this. This is the same as this. So it's trying to understand what you're communicating with through position locations. Ground line center rotations, power direction of time, and everything through your magnetic highway information system. It correlates on line centers. So in calculation, you come into your flux capacitor. All right. Flux capacitor comes in. You see it? There's the flux capacitor, channel position. Now, as that's coming into high line center, there's going to be a high line rotation, changing green interference, and rotation center. Okay. So we come in another one line center rotation. Okay. And we come another line rotation. And we come in another line rotation and another line rotation. All right. So it's understanding what is position location when you see yourself in high system. Now there's 4 ferments and position locations, all levels of high lines. All those high lines are in your position location. All right, so we go 1 position, 2 position, 3 position, and 4 position. Right? Now those are 4 line center to triangle interference locations. This is where the atom line center starts its position location of its direction line center to its V vector interference and position location to its ground line center in rotation. All right, it's in calculation. Now, the center in its position line center is all levels of traveling through the ground perception. So everybody's going to see the Earth of their perception, how they see it through calculations. It's amazing when you actually see it through space line. So when you're seeing it through space line, you're going through triangular interference and position locations, high channel and high line center to all levels of Orion's belt. Okay, because Orion's belt center its position to all timelines. All timelines is one line in position location, direction line center. There's the intelligence. Now, intelligent line interference position location, the atom line center changes the plasma channel. Teleportation light streams. Signaling rotation line position. Now, in rotation line centers, sets up a new course line channel into a rainbow activation line stream. Okay, comes in a core line center to all levels. Okay, so it's kind of looking at a TV monitor. The TV monitor is coming in, travel position locations, travel position locations, travel position locations. You see it? Now, as it comes in high line center, we change all line center rotations into a T reception line, right? 4 waving cycles interference. Now, rotation line centers, we go into high line rotation in calculations, right? 4 division line tactic view, communication cycles, reset line connections to its position, all right? Traveling through that. Now, as you're traveling through that high line center, you're going through gravity interference. And those are size graph interference locations and how big your ground perception is to your bandwidth locations, right? It's channeling your high line centers in rotation, okay? So when you're going through code signals, you have to exactly know what's going on through precision, right? Precision is everything. It's modified to all levels of what you're seeing through observation. So going through the ground perceptions of what you're seeing through your earth lines is extremely powerful to know exactly how to see yourself in all timelines through its program setting, okay? But it's amazing how you go through travel, all right? So you guys have traveled through that line center, all position locations. I'm going to channel into another level. All right. So we got test. So we start off the T-line center. Now we're going to T-scan position. Now T-scan position is truly understanding more levels equal line center into observation. Okay, observe. All right. So the test line and its position location is all levels of track center. Now you come into higher line position locations to its division. All right. See the XT1000. See? Now, as it's coming in high line center, it rotates its signals. Now, remember, it can be anything through calculation modification, anything through clock center. So it opens all line centers at E-line rotation in position. And position line systematic line rotations into all levels. Travel position location, E-line centers. Bring it back out, bring it back in position location, high line center, position of small interference, position of the line conditions. Bring it back in communication, back where it is, division, back in its beginning. Rotation center line conditions, side grass line center interference, travel position location line condition, right? You see how that is the test is coming into a structure? So it's all about understanding what you're doing through the equal line, which is all levels of observe. Okay, the observatory line center interference locations, right? Channel position location, all direction location, all levels of a test equals its equation location to its calculation, right? We start off with this provision, all right? And we come into this modification system, all right? So travel is extremely important. So the flux capacitor is already in here. Everything is stored in here already. So again, really get into the observe of everything that you see. Try to use it as structure. So if you're seeing something like this, then you understand how to travel through it. And if you're seeing anything like this, you learn how to travel through it, right? And you say, okay, this is the equal line center. This is the water. Water's here, right? All right, so you got to understand the rotation spin of the grounds, right? Then you have to understand the power, position, location. And then you got the atmospheres of line connections all through the water. So it's amazing how you go position locations. Now you got the redirect line center in calculations, right? That channels into the center up to its atom rotation. In position location, you got two channel line centers, left and right position, right? So it's all about how to travel through the water, okay? And then when you understand the energy light centers, you can set up electrical light connections, right? Travel through it, right? So it rotates, starts off at that position, and then it goes around. It goes around, goes around, goes around, all through the water, right? You can travel through anything, position, location. So you can travel through it. As long as you use electrical lights and you got your connections, because you can't travel until you understand your sun position where it is, the direction line system. Sun's in position location of here. There's your sun. Okay. And remember, you're trying to use the imagination. Try to understand, how do I travel through a water of glass, water of plastic in position location? So I'm just showing you how powerful it is. So you got the moon cycle in rotation center. Okay. Sun and the moon. Now it's in its core line center rotation. Okay. Now the reduction cycle is set in position location. This is where you have to resurface, recourse, reline, readjust, reconnect. High channel high line center in position locations to its grounds. So the ground line center changes all levels of the moon, changes all levels of the sun in position location. Right? It channels down into the flux capacitor line connection. Right? It goes down into the center position to the ground of its cup. Rotates its cycle and sets up a new plateau interference channel position location, redirect line centers, all line condition interference, program line center line rotation and position of its water. Okay, this is the water. Let's color it in. Coloration line system coming in on track center. So try to use your voice and grid line centers of structure. Try to use it as teleportation units when you're traveling through things, when you're seeing everything through position, right? Really get into the observation. Okay, there's your glass of water. Okay, traveling through that. See the intelligence? If you don't see the intelligence, I'll show you the intelligence. It's very important to understand that through position, right? Here's the intelligence. Ooh, see the eyes, the nose, everything is eyes, the nose, and the mouth. There's the intelligence, all through a glass, right? So that's me traveling through the water. That means I become the water. I am the water. So it's all about understanding how to set this up, guys. It's all through the sun. It's all position of the moon, right? So the more you understand how to travel through a glass of water, the more you understand the calculation. So it's very powerful when you go through that, right? So about the test, the planetary system line centers, I really want you to understand when you're in space, you're trying to understand more levels of your division locations. Try to understand what the imagination is. Try to observe everything that you see, right? You're scanning this, you're scanning this. Okay, so what's going on here? Where is its position? Is it disassembled? Is it in calculation? Is it off system? Is it a virus? What is it through channel? What is it through space? What is it through time? Where is the Merkaba? Where is the tesseract? Where is the tetrahedron line connection? So you can come into tetrahedron. Okay, you can come into octahedron. Okay, or you can come into all levels at decahedron. Okay, calculations, right? There's a three-line center interference. Pro-location line conditions equals everything through shape, everything through shape, everything through shape. Equal line center interference, okay? Systematic system line system, systematic location line condition, and systematic everything through position location of a GOD position, right? So everything is done through its equation, all right? So if you go into a higher level of line center line conditions of a orthogon, now a orthogon is extremely complicated stuff, okay? So you got the T line centers, okay, you got the H line in rotation interference and position locations. It's all travel position line center. So it opens up a higher line rotation interference in position location line conditions, right? So it's all about restructuring high systems. Let's go into cubic line rotation interference to show you exactly what a planetary line center is through structure to its position. So as it comes into formation line system, it changes its course. It redirects its high line center in its rotation calculation, modification, line conditions, and position, right? As it's coming in signal and rotation line system, you set up a size graph line center, and this is where you come into the Brownian sphere. Okay, the Brownian sphere is high line position. So as it's coming into its course, it's coming into its own planetary system. Okay, planetary system line conditions, all levels of structure, simulation to a graph line, rotation, inference, program location is calculations. Right. This is what a planetary is set up in position locations to its identification system and its streamline center to its all universal system. Okay. Now, this is truly understanding that everything is in balance. Okay, it's in position locations, is all in direct line center. But if you look really, really closely, you can actually see the actual computer right there. You see the computer? See how it's set up? So it's all about seeing things through the naked eye, and it channels its highline center. So once you see the computer adaptation system, it comes to life in rotation, and you can actually see it through formation. There's the computer. See it? There's always a computer line center in every planetary system line interference. Now, the round line center sets up all T reception line interference locations, all right? It channels its high line center. It changes all position locations. How space is set up and is a high line rotation comes into all levels of channels of T reception line. See? Now, modifies high line center, install a keyboard. High rotation line conditions, you can change position locations to its direction. Trying to see things out of its illusion to its creation. You see how it's positioned? Now, as it's coming in highline center, I rise its position locations. I channel its highline centers to each round box interference. It programs its position location line conditions. Optical line channels like a plasma line condition of an octopus that channels its highline center to rotation interference to realm position locations to all gravity reshift line centers, all cubic line in rotation to its crypto line interference. It programs its location to its line conditions and position location to its direction. Ooh-ah. Done by equation. So this is a true understanding. When I set things up and you travel through these things, you have to truly understand. Basic understanding is how to travel through this. Right? Basic understanding is how to modify signals through this, and how to channel operation line centers and set up realms and T receptions of box system location to computers to planetary centers like this. So really understand what space is, all through line conditions of travel. It's very powerful when you come in that position location, especially through its test, through its observation, right? Because that's what it is. Everything that you do is all levels of travel. No matter what you do, no matter what you see, you try to use everything through its equation. You have to learn how to travel at all level system, not just the north, not just the west, not just the east, the south, everything around you. Not just see what's in front of you, but understand everything around you, right? So it's not just the face view, it's everything through the back view and everything through the side view. So it's kind of looking up and seeing everything below from a bird's eye view, looking up and looking down, right? So it's very powerful when you get up to that position, location, to its direction. But it's amazing how things are set up through planetary system. All right. So it's going to be a little bit confusing. It's going to be a lot of fun. First time you guys ever been on a planet, the crew units, line centers, everybody, the squads, everybody's going to be in the GFL, the Rebellion, and everything. The Cinemasters are going to be planet to division locations to each planet. I'm going to put you guys on each planet. You have to identify your system, so the avatar system. This gives you more knowledge of intelligence, knowing exactly what you're up against, right? So it's your understanding. It's a test of will. It's a test of knowledge, and it's a test of you through calculations, how to get out of these through division, right? Because you have to learn how to use all levels of you through observation. I keep saying that every single day, because we travel through this. It's just a candy wrapper, just a granola bar. But we traveled. You taste it. It's all about using your senses of time equation. Now, when you come into time equation, that's where it gets really exciting. Okay? Time equals equation. All right? That's amazing. You come into time. All levels of time is one line time. 2 channel line interference, 3 position locations, 4 line position locations, 5 indirect line centers, all graph interference, all through time. See? See how it's changing the graph? So when you travel through that, it's no longer time, is it? See what's happening? It's changing its energy lights, it's changing its program setting, it changed specific location, what it was through time of its equation. See? So when you get in calculations, this is what it becomes in modification. See? A vortex chamber. A vortex chamber, guys. Woo! So imagination is everything. It's incredible how I do this through time equation. This is very, very high rise. This is how you create a vortex chamber. That's a vortex chamber. Vortex chambers are very powerful. They go between 50,000 line conditions per second, or they can go through all of us 144 miles line per second, or they can go through Mach line centers of 30,000 miles per second. It's very powerful what a vortex chamber is. I put a very powerful TikTok, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, talking about what is it. It's a vortex chamber, and that's what it is to modification. Right? How to travel through it is another thing, but it's all through time of its equation. Right? So you set up a graph and interference line conditions changes all levels of geometry and interference. Now these are box around position locations to its direction. It's the illusion to the eye position of what you see through modification. Right? It changes its program, doesn't it? It changes everything. So you're adding things in high line conditions, right? Let's say you get into box around T reception lines. You have to understand what it is, the matrix interference. Anything you add through color, you're coming into the matrix box. This is called the matrix box interference of vortex chambers. High channels, high line center rotation interference, and position of program setting. Okay, so it's very powerful when you connect all round line rotations into its box frequency location to its calculation. Right? So as you're connecting to higher lines, communication interference, program setting, higher positions of TV lines, flux capacitor channels, communication system, location centers, offline communication system, all through teleportation. It comes into higher lines of more communication system. Now, these are in position location of separation, but once I join them all together, it becomes a vortex chamber to its telepathy wave system. It gets complicated with spaces, but it's a lot more fun when you understand. So as you get into the levels of telepathy and line channel locations, everything has a division line tactic. It's a communication system that's in a magnetic highway information cycle. That cycle sets its position location of space line, right? So you come in calculation, you put it through its triangulation, put it through its triangulation, all through triangulation, right? It's all set. So once it gets set in position location, the vortex chamber comes out of the equation line channel. And it comes into a real line center. We travel through its position location to realms of universe realm, position location, line currents of the cosmos system. So it truly comes into its timeline. Okay. Once it comes into its timeline, it comes out of its equation line system. Okay, to a higher line center. See? Once it comes to the higher line center, we basically high positions to a higher vortex communication cycle. Recenters, readjusts, realigns the self-generation light connection to its program setting, reposition location to its calculation, right? So it becomes a higher position of vortex chamber location. Higher travels, right? So this one you can mock, right, through 1 million, right, per second, all through this position. So it's amazing how it's set up in sequence. But we use letters, numbers, and shapes, and everything through code signal, position locations to all computer line centers to an octopus line condition. All right. So you understand what it is levels of space, but you always start off very something simple through trial position. All right. Once you get into that calculations, you can go through the water line center. Once you get in that position locations, you can travel to higher line position location to its line conditions, all levels of its division, all through its earth perception. So I'm showing you many formations, and this is all levels of your test. Test is the observation. Okay? And it's important what you see in space because you have to learn how to use it through travel. You have to learn how to use it through calculation. You have to learn how to use it through telepathy from yourself to each other and who you're communicating with so you can protect yourself. You always put your E-fields up, especially when you're in real space in real time. Okay? It's important you understand that. right? And it's all done through position locations of tetrahedron, octahedron, and dodecahedron, all through shape positions, right? Everything is equally equation. Now, you always start off the line center location when it comes into E equals MC squared. E equals MC squared is extremely powerful to have position locations. So what is the energy line center location of triangulation? Triangulation is all levels of a triangle in position locations. So I can have 3,000 line centers of a triangle position. I can have 6,000 line position locations of a program setting, and I can have 9,000 line connections of me in position. The 3, 6, and 9. But hold on a sec. It's no longer 3, 6, and 9 position location, is it? It's 3,000, 6,000, and 9,000, right? So that's where it comes into high line center and inference locations, all levels. You come into all position locations. You use the time, okay, to its equal, okay, to its equation, okay? Now you channel on line center interference, and it becomes a vortex chamber into high line communication system to its position. See? So it understands its position of 3,000 line connections of the sun, 6,000 position locations to the moon, and 9,000 location is the center operation line center of its 1% that comes in its position location to its satellite line connection. See the satellite? So it's modification to its system location. Very powerful, isn't it? So all right, so where are we here? Find the rhythm, listen to slow sound flow when you're breathing. Only takes 2 seconds. Yeah, make sure you drink your water. Let's lights in. Awesome. Receiving. Hope you got reminded. Good. Knowing exactly what you're seeing through ground perception line conditions. That's so you understand that everything in life is nothing but travel. And if you really look around and you look at things, you can really see things. Wow, I'm actually traveling through everything all at once. And that's all it is. You're traveling through everything all at once. So you have to learn how to balance the hemispheres of the left of space and the hemispheres of the right of its Earth, right? And you are always in the center operation that never leaves the equation, because that's you all levels of division to its satellite position. Okay? That's the 1%. That stays on the ground. Everything else is in space. The mind, the heart, and the soul recognize all line timelines to all position location to its observation. Observation, people. Very important to understand that, because that's what life is about. Okay? So it's perfectly understanding where you come into the levels of a library. Okay, that's great. I'm looking at a library, I'm looking at a book, but I'd rather be outside and be practical. I'd rather look at the observations of things outside and rather really get my hands into position. I really want to understand what's going on through outside position, because that's what we do every time we go outside. We're seeing things through travel. You guys are just trying to come into your memories, but everything I see is traveling. And that's how you get things through its information. Okay? Because you're always triangulating. You're always trying to look at, okay, there's a car line center. Okay, there's another car line. There's another, okay, so there's 4 line position, right? Now, that's an equal line center right there, 1 line position, right? You can't see it, but I can see it. But you can't even see outside. You just see the light, right? You see the protection. So if you see the 4 line center car line rotation interference, you got to see where they are through the grounds, the powers and the atmospheres, because each car represents its own intelligence of its energy. Now it has its own frequency tone line center, has its own atmosphere change, and it has its own T reception line, right? It's all calculated, modified to its engine, right? Its alternator, right? So understand how to use a 4 line center on position locations. So you get calculations of a rectangle, and you got 4 line positions and cards. Now that's a structure line center. So you can travel all 4 position locations in one direction line system. That's traveled through the 4 line positions of a car, the 4 positions. So try to use that as always. Try to really formulate how to use your imagination, really get into your phenomenon channels. Especially you guys have a test coming up on Thursday. So I really want you to really get more of what you see. All right. That's the importance you have to understand. Okay. because traveling is everything. It's everything, everything, everything. And once you understand that, you understand how to travel through this, you understand how to travel through this, and travel through anything of that form position. Okay? But it's all done through you. It starts with the imagination, but then you come into the phenomenal channel. Phenomenal channel is very powerful because you realize that everything that you do through equation is already done through its position. You start off this, you lock it in frame, you come into this, right? You lock it in frame. Now this is where it comes into the illusion location. So it gets a little bit confusing now, right? You lock it in frame. All right. So what am I doing? Creating something, but what is it? So it's all about understanding what you're doing through travel, because everything is travel, but everything is shaped, which is amazing because you can create anything in space line to its position, right? So it doesn't look like much to you, but I know what it is through travel, right? Because I know what I'm doing. So it's all about understanding what it is, the realms, because these are little box round line centers of T receptions, all through the white graph rotation system. Now it's calculating a modified line center. So we got in graph interference. Now we go through all round line centers of rainbow activation stream interference. So we calculate and modify in high position locations all direction line interference, all line rotation interference, connect to all position location to its direction line system, modification line conditions all levels, direct on line center location to T reception line conditions into CCTV line rotation and calculation, modification to its calculations, redirect all line signal and position location to satellite position locations to its direction line system to its position line condition. Ooh-ah. All connected in high center line interference. All right? See the intelligence? So that's understanding that you get levels of box rounds, communication cycles, reset line centers, triangle interference, high position location, all starts with 369, right? That's why it's so important to understand your graph location is position 369, right? Oh, we got 3, 6, and 9. Oh, we got 3 here. Oh, 6 is here. Oh, 9's here, right? So it's all about understanding how to communicate 3, 6, and 9. So you got 3 voicing channels of 3, 6, 9. You know, actually the letters, numbers, and shapes and symbols have voices. 3 has a voice, 6 has a voice, so does 9. You don't know that until you understand it. So to understand it is to get relationship, partnership, and friendship with the numbers. So it's all calculated inside of you, right? So everything has a voice, everything has a channel. So when you understand that, use your telepathy interference. So you go to 3 to 6, 6 to 3, so 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 3, 9 to 6, 6 to 3, 9 to 3, 3 to 6. There you go, triangulation. Now it's all in communication system, right? You can even change the position location to its triangle, right? You can even set another line center rotation interference location to triangle. 3 line position locations, right? And this could be 3 here, this could be 6 here, and this could be 9 here. You can have 3 in the middle. You can have 6 at the bottom. You can have 9 at the top. You can have 3 over here, and you got 3 over here. See how that's confusing? So you got 3 line centers of position locations on the left and right position location. How is it possible to have the sun in 2 different locations? It's always in the fluctuation line conditions of its position to its flux capacitor. See it? Right? So you're good. So it's all position. But where's the moon? Well, the moon's already there. I don't have to draw the moon. The moon's already there. So that's the balance location where it is, the division, right? As long as you know how to use your flux capacitor, you're fine. So you got 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here, right? There's a lot of 3s there, right? So it's all position location of the sun. Sun, 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 and position locations of the sun. There it is. Triangulation. Intelligence. See it? See the intelligence? So it's amazing. Everything that you draw is intelligence, and you get better and better each day. But if you're not seeing the intelligence, you're not traveling. It's that simple. Simplified is everything, Maddie. So in that formation line centers, just really do the simplified thing. You can do it on both line center, location, and position, right? This way, right? Understand the center position location. What is this? The direction line system. You go this way, you go this way. See how it comes in? See the intelligence? You don't see the intelligence? There it is. Ooh-ah. There's the intelligence. Everything is informed of intelligence. Has to be. because that's how it modifies signals. So as it's set in position locations, you travel through it, right? And then you can go down here, you set up position, right? So you come into this position location, that's where it gets complicated to a system, all right? So as you're channeling, you can go into all levels center line rotation in a Fibonacci sequence. Now you come in at graph line centers of 12 line position location, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 line positions, right? Travel through that. Very powerful, right? As you're traveling through that, you can set up a new course line center. So you set up position location to odd lines, okay, to high position locations. So planetary system, 2 planetary line centers right there, one there, right? They come back in a sonar line rotation. Now comes in a rainbow activation graph system. One wind signal and the other wind signal, cross winds. Graph interference line conditions at all levels. Electrical grid system location to its calculations. Modify center line conditions all levels of electrical fence to a compilation line center to rotation system. Ooh-ah! Travel. So I'm just showing you how powerful it is when you do these things, the equation, how it's amazing to set these things up through grids or anything, electrical fence, electrical panels, but you're always protecting yourself through travel. Okay? So, all right. So let's see, everybody's doing well. Gave us ground bracelets. Great. So you guys are getting your gifts, upgrades, 5 layers of gold, white and bronze E fields. Hydrate, drink your waters. All right, 46 line centers and almost 50 communication system locations. I'll take you out of track center. New grid energy is coming in. So the basic understanding how to set up an electric grid center. You get into that position location to its direction. So this is a fence that's protecting the travel. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just understand how to balance these things out through the levels of you, through your connections, and how you use your position in all level of connections. You know, it's incredible. So I'll take you guys out. Plasma line channel, plasma interference, plasma communication system. Collecting line channels, bring them down in acceleration time center. Back into ground perception where they are through division line interference. Code signal locations, all levels. Echo Zulu 1-1. Tango, Zebra force line conditions, 1000 channel position locations back in the ground line center interference, location of codes, high system line condition interference, crew units, squads, high position location GFL, or buying everything through the cinemass. Bring them back to the calculation line system. There you go, you guys are back. All right, so hopefully you understand more of travel and what it is through observation. It's amazing how you travel that position locations all through threes. All right? So you're probably wondering why, where's the 6 and where's the 9? Well, it's already in balance. It's already there. Remember, it's already stored for you. Everything I do is already travel. So once you get into more positions, then you send the direction, right, through its calculation. Landing perfect? Great. Oh, you like class today? Good. Questions or comments? We'll go after on TikTok, okay? Do have private sector afterwards, but after that. Any questions or comments, please feel free to ask the Senate Masters, the Rebellion, or the GFL, or anything, the squads or the crews. We're all here together as a unit. Make sure you drink your water. Uno. What's that connection to Mork and Minnie? Nanu. Anyway, I really enjoyed class. Hope you guys picked up a lot. That's day 2 on test review and evaluations. Tomorrow we'll get into the simulation. We'll go into space division line centers. I'll set up a hologram structure for your planets to know exactly what you're up against when you come into position locations to its modification line conditions. All right. So, everybody have a wonderful day. Adios.